Hi everyone, I'm Moody Boo and I'm back with a requested video. I'm such a douche knob for not writing down the name of the person that asked me to do this video. I'm usually really good about it until I'm not. This was a not. Sorry. Whoever it was, will you let me know? Anyway, this is my favorite green note perfumes. Now, I am just getting into green notes again. I was really into vetiver, which I consider a green note, even though on Fragrantica, they have it listed under like woods and mosses. But then they have some other notes that like juniper that is listed under grasses or green notes and not under woods and mosses. So I'm not really sure what Fragrantica's criteria is. So I just am going by my own, what I consider green notes. Now I am leaving juniper in there and juniper berries because to me, they are, a lot of people will associate them with Christmas. I do. I don't know why, but I do. So I don't know why I said a lot of people. I associate them with Christmas. Let me clarify that. A lot of times. And so I guess because a lot of the wreaths maybe are made out of it or something, but I don't know. But anyway, but in a perfume, it can be so refreshing and uplifting. So I think that if you add juniper to some deep woods, ambers, resins, notes like that, it's going to come across much more Christmassy, wintry, cold season. But if you add it with citruses and maybe some other fruits and vetiver and things like that, I think juniper can be just add to that refreshing, uplifting feeling that I want from a springtime perfume, especially a daytime perfume. So anyway, I kind of come in and out of green notes. I do love some of them for spring very much, but there's other notes like citruses that I really enjoy in spring and summer. And so green notes have to be done just perfectly. If juniper is done right, it can be perfect for spring, summer. And if it's done right, it can be perfect for winter and fall. So yeah, it's a pretty versatile note in my opinion. And juniper berries, I left those in there too because I've never smelled a perfume that added juniper berries without adding some of the green juniper-ness to it. So anyway, I broke it into, like I do, categories for all but the last two. The last two, one is vetiver and the other one is verbena. I have a perfume in each of those. And then I have two grassy notes, and I'm talking about the kind of grass that you mow down, not the kind that mows you down. Just to clarify. So, and then two green notes. I mean, in Fragrantica, it's just green notes, so whatever that means, not sure. But two of the perfumes that I really love that I feel are green, they have listed as that is the dominant note. So I went ahead and I'm not going to fight that battle. No. So and then to tea. Is that it? Tea, green notes, grass, two miscellaneous, two tea. I think I said them all. Yeah, juniper. Did I say that? Yeah. I don't have all of these perfumes. I've had decants of them, or I do have them, but since it's not consistent, I'm just going to show pictures of the perfume. So, because I'm not going to bring out empty, I don't even think I have the empty decants or anything. That's weird and inconsistent, and it would bug the shitsky out of me. First up, I'm just going to start with the Verbena. That's the Verbena Mint by L'Occitane. Now this is verbena and mint and lemon and grapefruit, and there's some woods and musk in there. But it's fairly linear. When it dries down, you do get a little bit of muskiness, but the fruits and the refreshingness stay for me throughout the wearing, which isn't real long. It's like 4 or 5 hours. But springtime, refreshing, green kind of perfumes a lot of times are not usually huge performers, in my opinion. A lot of times. There are some exceptions, that's for darn sure. So anyway, it's this beautiful, the mint isn't real strong. It just adds this iciness to the citrus almost. It makes it very cool and very refreshing. And it is one of my favorite spring summer perfumes. I've had it. I've gone through 2 bottles, and they're pretty big bottles when L'Occitane was still open over in Kona, Big Island. But now I'll just order it online. But I still have a whole bunch left, so I'm not too worried about running out of it. And it's really affordable too. So that's Verbena. Next up is, what is next? Oh yeah, vetiver. I went through a vetiver stage. It was really short-lived. I'm not sure why, because I still adore the note. I don't know, I must have moved on to something else. But it was, I think, less than a year when I was really into vetiver. And one of the only perfumes that survived my vetiver period that I didn't give away or trade off or something, because it was quite a while ago, was Andy Towers' Vetiver Dance. This is so pretty, so pretty. Mr. Tower himself and I kind of communicated back and forth. I think it was on Facebook about Vetiver Dance, because I was talking about how much I enjoyed it. In fact, I think it's back there. I think you can see it right there. 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 So vetiver dance is vetiver and grapefruit, and there's some sage and lily of the valley and some pepper and woods and ambergris and tonka and some florals and labdanum. And you wouldn't get it from all of that, but it is this beautiful, very green, very earthy kind of a perfume. And the longer you wear it, the sweeter it gets. It actually is a very sweet, earthy, woody, green kind of a perfume. Now that one is a huge performer for me. That one, it's a tower. Need I say more? And it's one of the few towers that just doesn't get a lot of love, and I don't get it because I think it's amazing. I absolutely adore it, and I will replace that bottle when it runs out. It's one of those perfumes that has weathered the storm of my OCD coming in and out of vetiver, and there it still is. Yep, I love that perfume. So anyway, prices are really reasonable with Tower perfumes. In the general scheme of niche perfumes, they're very reasonable. Very unisex too. So, all right, next up. So the next green note, I am just starting to really get into. I have gotten some samples. I probably should have added some of those samples to this list, but I'll probably do a different one, like future purchases or something like that with those. But that's the note of tea. And I'm not talking TI, like the beautiful Hawaiian plant, green plant. Well, green and red, and it's gorgeous yellow. I'm talking about TEA. And like I said, I'm just getting into that note. I have not really explored tea a lot until just this last several months. I've been kind of getting into it. One of the first tea perfumes that I fell in love with, and just rediscovering it this last year is what started me on my tea journey. What has started me on my tea journey. I'm still a fledgling. I'm a virgin almost. Well, I'm like a virgin the day after prom. So I just had my cherry broken, and I'm just exploring things now for the first time. So Silver Mountain water is tea and berries and musk and citruses. There's a little sandalwood in there, and it's Silver Mountain water is just one of the most refreshing and still a heavy performer. It doesn't have that light airiness like Verbena mint does, where you can smell it and you can tell, yeah, it's probably not going to last 5-6 hours. I better decant some of this out and take it with me. With Silver Mountain water, you put it on and you're like, that's Creed DNA, all right. That shit is going to stay a while till it's damn good and ready to leave. And on me, Silver Mountain water has lasted 10 hours on me. It's true. It's very true. 10 hours easily. Now, in the hot weather, that's springtime. Hot weather, I'd say 8 to 9. So it's just an incredible performer. And very unisex. And if you get the little bottle, it's fairly affordable. But it's one of my all-time favorite spring-summer perfumes of all time, in the history of all time. Next. The next one is a new discovery for me. And I got the Florecu Discovery set, which is back there, but you can't see it because it's too low. And I'm slowly working with some of them. There's so many though, I may just do a video of doing a first contact with the last 4, because I don't know, there's like 12 or something. So, and I've got so many others I'm sniffing out that I just haven't been able to take the time with Florecu to get that information out, because I think this is a pretty incredible house. Super expensive, but you can get travel sizes. So you can enjoy Florecu without having to pay the $350 for 50 mLs, is it? Or maybe it's 100. So anyway, the one that I wanted to put on this list is one I've been recently working with and I'm really enjoying. And that is Florecu's The Moon and I. Now on Fragrantica, they just have tea, mate, and cedar listed. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's pretty accurate. It seems like there's more in there than that, because it definitely feels like it has a lot more dimension than that. And it does, when I first spray it, it's this very kind of earthy, fresh tea kind of a scent. And it does have a trajectory as far as the dry down. And once that dry down happens, the woods definitely come out. But it never gets real dry. But it's a much drier tea-based or tea-dominant perfume than I'm used to. Most of the tea perfumes I've been exploring are pretty wet. You know, they're moist smelling kind of perfumes. This one is a little more on the dry side. I would think some women would think that this would be something they would enjoy on their husband, but may not wear for themselves. I would totally wear this. Totally wear this. Anyway, all right. Next up. The next category is juniper and juniper berries. And like I was talking about earlier, junipers to me can just add this really cool refreshness to a perfume, and a lot like mint or some well done citruses can do. You know, it just feels like someone just put you in front of the air conditioner, in front of a fan on a hot day. They're very refreshing. So the first one I wanted to talk about was Oliver Peoples' Indigo by Byredo. So Oliver Peoples' indigo is juniper and juniper berries and patchouli and sand and lemon and iris and musk and immortal. And it's just this beautiful, and you wouldn't think with all of those notes that it would be sweet, but there is a definite sweetness to it. It has this real uplifting, bright kind of a feel, but yet there's definitely a layer of depth to that. So indigo has much more dimensions than Verbena Mint by L'Occitane. That one's pretty, you know, it's kind of up here. It's a little more lighthearted, a little more playful, whereas indigo is definitely unisex. It definitely is darker. It's a little more of a spring, summer, nighttime kind of a perfume, in my opinion, because it does have much more dimensions. So, and it lasts really well for me. I get a good 8 hours out of it. It's gorgeous stuff. Beautiful. Next. The next one is a new full bottle perfume, and that's Eccentric Molecules Eccentric 05. Man, I love this. I got a full 100 ml bottle sitting on my dresser right now as we speak. Calling my name. Spritz me, boo. Spritz me. And I probably will. I don't think I have anything on right now. What's the matter with me? That's weird. That's a weird thing, to be talking about perfumes and not have any perfume on. So Molecule 5 is bergamot and cashmeran, and there's juniper, and there's some other green notes, and there's some molecule notes, and some woody notes, and some citruses, and some fruits, and musk, a little bit of florals. But it's just this uplifting, very bright, citrusy, slightly foresty smelling perfume. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. And it just puts me in a good mood when I spray it. It does not have a big trajectory, a little bit. And the more I wear it, the more I notice that it does have more dimension than I originally gave it credit for. Because in the deep dry down, you definitely get some of those florals, a little bit of more greenness to it, a little less citrus, a little more green, a little more woody, earthy kind of notes, but it still keeps that beautiful, refreshing aroma. And it's a hint sweet too. It's got a little sweetness to it. Oh, I just love it. And it lasts for me. We haven't gotten real hot weather yet, so I don't know about that as of yet. But right now in the 70s and 60s, it easily has been lasting 6 to 8 hours on me. All right, next. The next category are grass. And I just recently found a decant that I'd totally forgotten about. I know I do that all the time. You have no idea all the places I have perfumes in this house. That's why my husband's building me shelves. Now that the boys have moved out, I'm expanding my territory. I'm marking my territory, as evidenced by the shelves behind me. I've got shelves beside me full of decants and mini bottles. And yeah, that's right. This is my domain now. So anyway, I found an old Ormond Jane, the original Mormont Woman. And this decant that I had, and I was gonna buy a full bottle. Why I didn't, I don't know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So it says it's hemlock and grassy notes and some vetiver and cardamom, and there's some other spices and violets, some woody notes, a little amber, little florals in there. But it's really well blended. I can't pick out anything. It just is this beautiful cornucopia of green notes and a little bit of fruit and florals, and it's mixed so well. It's just, It's a bit sexy for a green fragrance, in my opinion. There's a little sexy to it. And I could totally see a man wearing this, but I think that a lot of men would rather smell this on a woman. I don't know that for sure. I'm making shit up again. I tell you, I make that shit up all the time and act like it's something when it's really nothing. But anyway, I feel that way. I don't know why. I don't know. I guess because I've been doing this for a minute. That's why. But it is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful perfume. For me, it doesn't have a big trajectory. It's a pretty slight one, but I'm okay with that because, like I said, that cornucopia of aromas that you get from the start, you get all the way down the dry down. Some other notes do come in there and kind of ground it a little bit at the very end, but I have got to get a bottle of that. Oh, sorry, I thought I saw the spider. Oh, I shouldn't have said the word out loud. Now I got to do a spider check. All right. Mormont Woman. Phew, good stuff. Next, the last grassy note perfume is by Hermès. And that's Un Jardin sur le Toit, I think. Maybe. Close. Un Jardin sur le Toit. So this one I do have a bottle of. I also love all of them in the Un Jardin line. I think all of them have something to offer for a spring, summer kind of a perfume. They're beautiful. I've had a couple of them. Can't remember the names. And of course I traded them off or gave them away or some dumb shit like that years ago. I don't do that anymore. I've learned my lesson. I like keeping my shit around. So it's grassy notes and red apple and some rose and pear. And there's some floral notes, a little more green notes. So in the dry down, there's a little bit of rosemary and magnolia, but I don't get those as the dominant notes. It's mostly the grass and the red apple and the rose and the pear. Just beautiful stuff. Now, the first time I smelled this, I was like, I don't think it's as good as some of the other ones in the line. But the more I've worn it, the more I wear it, if that makes sense. So it's beautiful stuff, really gorgeous for spring, summer, and it's pretty good price too, very unisex too. It is, again, one of those very uplifting ones, but it doesn't last quite as long as a Creed, but a little longer than a L'Occitane. So performance was kind of in the middle for me. Still is. Last category. The last category is green notes. Whatever the FERK that means. The first one I've talked about many times throughout the years during this time of year, and that's by Laboratorio Olfativo Deco Bear. There's just not many perfumes that I have loved year after year after year in the spring and summer like I have Deco Bear. It's green notes, and there's some magnolia and some lilac and lily of the valley and some aquatic notes and some musk and some other florals, a little bit of oak moss in the base to kind of ground it a little bit. But this stuff is so moist and green. It's like being in a garden and it's just has just rained heavily. So everything is very wet and dripping and moist. And the heat is starting to come up, so you start to get all of that moist green. And with the flowers, you're getting that sweetness from the lilacs and the magnolias mingling with that wet greenness. It's just, I love this stuff. Now, I will say, when it dries down, and you know, I didn't notice this as much when I first had it, because I've had 2 bottles. This is my second bottle, which I'm almost halfway through my second bottle, is that there is a bit of soapiness to it. I do detect that lily of the valley, and it's kind of right after the top. Even though there isn't a big trajectory with this perfume, there's enough of one to where about halfway through, I do notice a bit of soapiness, which I don't care for, but I've never noticed that before except for this spring. I've noticed it, but I've smelled some perfumes that have been heavy with lily of the valley lately, so I think I'm really sensitive to it right now, and I don't like it. I don't like lily of the valley at all. I mean, it can be, you know, a background singer, but goddamn, keep that bitch from the main mic. That's all I'm saying. So gorgeous stuff, though. I do love it. And price is pretty good on it too. And I think it's completely unisex. Performance isn't great on it. It's not great. I get about 5 hours probably with it. The hotter the weather, the less time I get with it. So I have a decant, so I can take that with me. All right, last up. The last one, I have only had a few samples. Why I haven't bought this damn thing, I don't know. But it's Gramercy Park by Bond Number 9. So Gramercy Park is just green notes, and there's some grassy notes and some ivy and some lily of the valley, some woody notes, musk, a little bit of cyclamen in there. When I first tested this, I compared it to a hula dancer that's really pissed off at you and comes up and smacks you in the face with her grass skirt. I still believe that. That opening is really intense, but after 20-30 minutes, I don't agree with Fragrantica because I think the cyclamen is much heavier, and it's almost like there's some fruits in there, almost like a blueberry or some kind of berries are in there. A nice, juicy, slightly sweet berry. Because once those green notes kind of settle down a little bit, and there is a little bit of soapy in there from the lily of the valley, but fortunately, the green notes are so intense that you don't smell it much. But that cyclamen and the musk, and I swear there's some fruits in there and some other florals because it does sweeten up, and I love it. I have not bought a bottle of it. I just have the little bonbons, but I've got several of them, so I haven't bought it yet. But it'll be in my collection in the near future, I'm sure. I feel like it's a little bit of an acquired taste because I'm not sure how many women would want to smell like super green, grassy anything for any amount of time. But I think this one is really good for spring and summer. But because of that heavy, grassy green notes, I would be light on the trigger even with the spring and summer, which is when I would totally wear it. I can't imagine wearing this in the fall or the winter. Little on the masculine side, I would say most women would feel that way. I do not, but I think most women would. I don't think it's a sexy perfume because, you know, grass isn't, you know, not that sexy. But it is a really well done perfume, I think. It's really good. As long as you don't mind the first 20 minutes feeling like you're laying at the 50-yard line of a football field. I don't mind that at all. And performance is really good on this. And price, you can get Gramercy Park, I think really cheap on like Fragrance Net and stuff too. So, and all of these lists that I do, as I get more perfumes and I rediscover and I really dig more into my collection, I gather more perfumes and test more perfumes, I'll be doing more of these lists. So this won't be my only green note list. I'll do another one down the road when I have collected enough information on another set of green perfumes to give to you guys. And same with vanilla and amber and cheapies and date nights and all of that. I keep my lookout. I keep my lists open so that when I discover a new perfume, a new sample, a new decant, or I blind bought a full bottle of something, then I just add it to that new list. And so once I have a full list, then of ones that I really enjoy that I want to tell you about, then I'll do another one of these videos. So, all right, well, that was my favorite top 10 perfumes with green as the dominant note. And thank you for requesting the video. It takes me a while to get to these because I have a lot of list of videos I want to get done. So anyway, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon. All right, everybody, take care. Peace.